Princess and breaks silence on last summer's accident. Admits she has no memory of it. During her 2-day tour of South Africa, Princess and opened up about the frightening incident last summer that left her with a concussion. The Princess Royal, 74, said that she had no memory and recalled nothing of the accident that left her hospitalized for 5 days, believed to be caused by an impact with a horse on her Gatcombe Park estate. The accident taught her that every day is a bonus, really, according to the BBC. After the royal was injured last June, her medical team described her injuries as being consistent with an impact from a horse's head or legs. The Princess Royal arrives for a visit to the South African Riding School for Disabled Association, SARDA, while on her 2-day trip to South Africa on January 21, 2025. Hello viewers, please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. When asked whether the last thing she remembered was walking into a field, and said, "No, I don't even remember that. I know where I thought I was going, and that was to go to the chickens. No, nothing to do with horses," Princess and said about the incident. "Seeing the chickens was my regular visit," she added. "I don't have any idea what I was doing in the field, because I never normally went that way. It just reminds you, shows you never quite know. Something happens, and you might not recover," she continued. "You're jolly lucky if you can continue to be more or less compos mentis, of sound mind. And last summer I was very close to not being," Princess and added. "Take each day as it comes, they say." The Princess Royal is presented with flowers during a visit to the South African Riding School for Disabled Association, SARDA, while on her 2-day trip to South Africa on January 21, 2025. When asked if she planned to retire anytime soon, the longtime hardest-working member of the royal family said that retirement isn't really an option. "I don't think there's a retirement program on this particular life," the Princess Royal added. The Princess Royal views the Princess and Rose with Anya Tashner, right, daughter of Ludwig Tashner of Ludwig's Roses, during a visit to the British High Commission Residence Garden in Pretoria, while on her 2-day trip to South Africa on January 21, 2025. Princess Anne's heartbreaking call to Charles in the late Queen's final days. Princess Anne had to pick up the phone and made a heartbreaking personal call as her mother the Queen's health started to fail. Her Majesty spent the final days of her life at Balmoral, and by chance, her daughter was already in residence having travelled to Scotland for some royal engagements. Also staying at Balmoral was Anne's son Peter Phillips, who had been set to go to a shooting party that was then cancelled. Then Prince Charles was also nearby. The day before her death, the Queen stayed in bed, but still wished to appear at that evening's Privy Council meeting over video. As such, provisions were put in place so she could be audio only if she stayed in her bedroom. But, moments before the meeting was due to begin, the Queen cancelled on the grounds of medical advice, as was reported at the time. That evening, on the 7th of September, Charles was advised by Anne and his private secretary to make his way to the Queen's bedside ASAP. At the time, he was more than 150 miles away in Ayrshire on official duties, and he had to decide whether to cancel his appointments for the next day and go to Balmoral in the morning, or continue. Royal author Robert Hardman revealed in his book Charles III, New King, New Court, the inside story, via the Mail, that Charles's private secretary, Sir Clive Alderton, poignantly told him, "Think how you would feel if you never said goodbye." The next morning, Princess Anne called Charles again and told him to come immediately. At 9:30 a.m. Charles was taken by helicopter with Camilla, and then contacted Prince William, Prince Harry and his younger brothers, Andrew and Edward, and suggested they come to Balmoral. Princess Anne attends horse riding event 4 months after accident left her in hospital. The Princess Royal attended a performance by the world's oldest riding academy 4 months after suffering a concussion in a horse accident. Princess Anne watched 8 riders and 26 horses from the Spanish riding school in London perform synchronized routines on Friday evening. The academy, based in Vienna, Austria, has taught classical horsemanship in its Renaissance equestrian high school tradition for more than 450 years. The princess was in attendance for the opening night of a tour by the school from the Royal Box on the opening night of the OVO Arena, Wembley. She was joined by model Lady Victoria Hervey, influencer Chugs Wallace, and thousands of fans who enjoyed the show. The Princess Royal, 74, was admitted to hospital with a head injury and concussion after reportedly being kicked in the head whilst walking on her Gatcombe Park estate in Gloucestershire. She was admitted to Southmead Hospital in Bristol and took nearly 2 weeks off from her royal duties after spending 5 days at the hospital. Princess Anne competed for Great Britain in the equestrian 3-day event at the 1976 Montreal Olympic Games. The princess has supported the Riding Academy for decades and visited its training base several times alongside the late Queen Elizabeth II. The Academy is heading to Aberdeen's P&J Live for 3 shows on October 25, 26 and 27. Princess Anne competed for Great Britain in the equestrian 3-day event at the 1976 Montreal Olympic Games. She has also won an individual gold medal at the 1971 Burghley 3-day event, and 1 individual and team silver medals in 1975 at Lumilan. The longest reigning British monarch continued to ride horseback during her final years of life despite doctors' advice to quit. She was pictured at the age of 96 riding around her Windsor estate months before her death in September 2022. Princess Anne's famous no-nonsense attitude came to the fore during a dramatic kidnapping attempt on the 20th of March, 1974 in the UK. Ian Ball ambushed her Rolls-Royce, opening fire as she and then-husband Captain Mark Phillips were en route back to Buckingham Palace from a reception, blocked by Ball's vehicle, reports The Express. Demanding a ransom in the millions, Ball ordered the princess out of the car, to which she coolly retorted, "Not bloody likely." That eventful evening saw journalist Brian McConnell, and chauffeur Alexander Callender, and police constable Michael Hills shot along with Mr. Beaton, but all fortunately lived to tell the tale. Princess Anne's heartbreaking call to Charles in the late Queen's final days. Princess Anne had to pick up the phone and made a heartbreaking personal call as her mother the Queen's health started to fail. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.